If your legs don't feel the way they used to, if you've spent good money on bottles of pills and powders, yet still wake up with cold feet and heavy, tired calves, you are not alone. I see this every week in my practice here in the United States, and it is incredibly frustrating for my patients. Part of the problem is a common enemy we all face, a supplement industry that promises the world in one miracle multivitamin. Bright labels, big claims, but inside the doses are so tiny they're like trying to water a dried-out garden with a little plant mister. The second enemy is quieter, poor circulation itself. It rarely screams. Instead, it whispers. Heavy legs, nighttime cramps, tingling toes, feet that never quite warm up. You're told, that's just aging, but deep down you know something else is going on. The scary part? Poor leg circulation isn't just about your legs. It's often a mirror of what's happening in the blood vessels that feed your heart and your brain. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step why leg circulation weakens after 60. The 3 key vitamins that can support healthier blood flow when used correctly, which forms actually matter, and which ones are mostly a waste of money. You'll also get 5 simple daily habits to boost circulation, plus a 90-day roadmap so you're not just swallowing supplements and hoping for the best. This is all from the perspective of a physician who works with older adults every day. And please stay until the end, because I'll share one common mistake many Americans over 60 make that can quietly cancel out all their vitamin efforts. Before we start, I'd love to hear from you. How old are you? And do you think this video could help you? Tell us in the comments. We'll do our best to respond to each question. Thank you for visiting Senior Health Tips, Healthy Aging. Now, let's take a closer look at what's really happening inside the blood vessels in your legs. When we talk about poor leg circulation after 60, we're not talking about something mysterious or just old age. There's a real, physical story unfolding inside your legs, and once you understand it, everything suddenly makes sense. Think of your circulation like a two-way highway. Your arteries push fresh, oxygen-rich blood down to your legs, while your veins, tiny valves, and the calf muscle pump work together to push that blood back up toward your heart. And lining every vessel is the endothelium, a thin, delicate layer, almost like the smooth coat of paint inside a clean water pipe, keeping everything flowing easily. But after 60, that system changes. The pipes stiffen. The valves that once snapped shut now get a little lazy, letting blood pool in the lower legs. Years of higher blood sugar, higher cholesterol, smoking, or simply sitting too much chip away at that inner lining. It becomes irritated, inflamed, less responsive, and circulation slows in ways you can actually feel. And the signs? They're often small at first. Heavy legs at the end of the day, a little swelling around the ankles, a cold foot that never quite warms up under the blanket, nighttime cramps that wake you out of a dead sleep. Maybe you walk a few hundred feet and suddenly need to stop and shake it out. These things don't usually show up all at once. They creep in. I've seen it so many times. One patient told me she couldn't climb a single flight of stairs without stopping halfway. Another once loved her evening walks, but now avoids them because her legs feel like they're carrying sandbags. And if you hear yourself in any of this, that heaviness, that fatigue, don't panic. This isn't the part where we jump straight to the fix. This is the part where everything begins to click. Because in just a moment, you'll see why changing just a few tools in your daily routine can turn things around in ways many people never expect. Now let's start counting down our list, beginning with the piece that almost no one talks about, yet often acts as the very first warning signal. Number 5 is one of the biggest reasons people over 60 feel disappointed. They think they're doing the right thing, but the results never show up. And it's not because their body isn't capable. It's because the products they're taking were never built to make a real difference in the first place. Let's start with the most common trap: low-dose multivitamins. Most multivitamins on the shelf contain tiny amounts of the nutrients your circulation actually needs. 20 milligrams of niacin, 5 micrograms of vitamin K, maybe 60 milligrams of vitamin C. Those doses are enough to prevent deficiency, sure, but they're nowhere near the levels that support real vascular function. It's like trying to repaint your entire house using one of those little sample-size paint jars from the hardware store. You'll get a few streaks of color, but nothing changes in a meaningful way. Then there's choosing the wrong form, which is something I see every week in my clinic. People buy niacin that doesn't flush and wonder why it had no effect. They pick up vitamin K1 instead of K2 and don't realize K1 doesn't do the job they're hoping for. Or they take standard ascorbic acid vitamin C in high doses and end up with stomach discomfort, giving up before they ever reach the dosage that supports circulation. It's not their fault. The labels are confusing and the marketing is loud. And finally, we have the no strategy problem. Some days you take it, some days you forget. Sometimes you take it on an empty stomach, sometimes with food, sometimes right next to a medication it shouldn't be paired with. And when there's no consistency, there's no momentum, and your body never gets the steady support it needs to actually change. If you've ever thought, "I tried supplements, but nothing happened," you're not imagining it. Most people never get the right form, the right dose, or the right routine long enough for anything to work. But here's the good news. In the next sections, when we break down the 3 key vitamins for leg circulation, you'll finally understand why form and dosage matter so much, and why so many people feel nothing even after months of trying. This is where everything starts to make sense. Number 4 is something almost nobody wants to admit, but it's the foundation that determines whether your circulation improves or stays exactly the same. And it has nothing to do with a pill. It's about lifestyle and daily habits, the quiet choices that slowly shape the way blood moves through your legs every single day. One of the biggest silent enemies is simple: sitting too much. Hours in a chair, barely moving your ankles, barely using your calf muscles. And here's the part most people don't realize. Your calves are your body's second heart. They're the pumps that push blood back up from your feet toward your chest. If your heart is doing all the work, but your calves aren't helping, it's like trying to climb a staircase without holding the handrail. You can do it, but it's a struggle. Let's be honest, many of us fall into the same patterns. Little habits that seem harmless, but slowly make circulation worse. Sitting for long stretches without moving, crossing legs for too long, barely drinking water throughout the day, putting off walks because I'll do it later, standing still for long periods without shifting weight. But here's the hopeful part. Small corrections can create big wins for your legs. A simple 5 to 10 minute circulation walk after meals, not a workout, just gentle walking, can wake up blood flow. Doing ankle pumps while watching TV keeps the calf pump active without even standing up. Elevating your legs 10 to 15 centimeters for a few minutes lets trapped blood drain back toward the heart. And sipping water throughout the day keeps blood from becoming thick and sluggish. These aren't dramatic changes, but they make a dramatic difference. Your legs don't need perfection. They need movement, rhythm, and a little help from gravity now and then. And once these habits are in place, every supplement, every vitamin, every effort you make becomes more effective. It's like preparing the soil before planting. When the foundation is right, everything else you add on top has a chance to truly work. Now that our second heart is awake and supporting us, we can move up our list to something even more powerful. The first key nutrient that protects your blood vessels' ability to open and relax. Number 3 on our list is a nutrient everyone thinks they understand, but very few people realize how deeply it affects circulation. Most of us grew up hearing that vitamin C was for colds or the immune system. But here's the real hook. Vitamin C is actually the bodyguard for one of the strongest vessel-relaxing molecules we produce, nitric oxide. Think of nitric oxide as the open the door signal inside your blood vessels. When it's released, the vessel walls relax, widen, and let blood glide through more easily, especially down to the legs and feet. But nitric oxide is fragile. It gets damaged quickly by stress, inflammation, high blood sugar, smoking, and even just aging itself. That's where vitamin C steps in. It protects the inner lining of your blood vessels, the endothelium, and shields nitric oxide from being destroyed by free radicals. And here's where things get more personal. Not all vitamin C feels the same in your body. Traditional ascorbic acid works, but in higher doses it can irritate the stomach, a common issue for older adults. Buffered vitamin C, mixed with minerals like calcium or magnesium, is gentler. And liposomal vitamin C is the gold standard for absorption. It comes wrapped in tiny fat bubbles that your gut handles far more comfortably. Timing also matters. Taking vitamin C in the morning or early afternoon gives your blood vessels support right when you're moving the most, walking, standing, climbing stairs, running errands. And it helps you avoid the mild energy boost vitamin C can give, which is great at noon, not so great at 10 p.m. when you're trying to sleep. Imagine your circulation as a full orchestra. Nitric oxide is the conductor who signals every section to open up and play in harmony. Vitamin C? It's the behind-the-scenes manager, checking the microphones, tuning the violins, making sure the speakers don't blow out. Without that support, the conductor can't do its job. Using vitamin C safely is simple. Start low, increase gradually, and always take it with water. And if you have kidney issues or a history of kidney stones, talk to your doctor first. Vitamin C might seem basic, but when used correctly, it becomes one of the quiet heroes of healthy leg circulation. And it sets the stage for what's coming next, a nutrient even more powerful in restoring flexibility to your blood vessels. Number 2 is one of the most surprising keys to healthier leg circulation, a nutrient most people have never heard explained properly. Imagine your blood vessels like a garden hose. You want them soft, flexible, easy to bend, not stiff and crusted over like an old plastic pipe left in the sun. But that stiffness can happen inside your arteries when calcium, the mineral we do want in our bones, ends up settling in the wrong place. Here's where vitamin K2, especially the MK7 form, steps in. K2 activates a special protein called MGP. Think of it as a team of microscopic vacuum cleaners moving through your bloodstream. Their job is simple but powerful. Pick up stray calcium stuck in your artery walls and deliver it back to your bones, where it actually belongs. When those tiny vacuums aren't activated, calcium hardens your vessels, making them less able to adjust pressure. And when vessels can't flex, blood struggles to travel down to your legs and feet. A lot of people confuse K1 and K2, but they behave very differently. K1, the kind found in leafy greens, helps with clotting. K2, especially MK7, is the one that directs calcium traffic. And MK7 stays in your system longer, which means you only need it once a day for steady support. The challenge? Many Americans barely eat foods rich in K2. Natto, a fermented soy food from Japan, is the champion source, but most people can't get past the smell. Some aged cheeses contain K2, and certain animal products have a little, but not enough to meet therapeutic levels. That's why deficiencies are so common without anyone realizing it. There is one important safety note. If you're on blood thinners like warfarin or Coumadin, you must talk to your doctor before adding K2. It doesn't mean you can't use it. It just means it needs to be coordinated safely. I've had patients with artery stiffness, early calcification, or long-standing circulation issues finally make progress once we addressed K2, but always as part of a bigger plan: better eating, more movement, controlling blood sugar and cholesterol, and using the right nutrients at the right time. Vitamin K2 doesn't work overnight, and it doesn't work alone. But when it begins doing its quiet, steady job, your blood vessels regain something priceless: their flexibility, the ability to open, respond, and deliver blood all the way down to the legs again. Number 1 is the nutrient that often surprises people the most, because when it works, you feel it. If you've ever taken a vitamin and suddenly felt your face warm up, your skin turn a little red, maybe even a mild tingle or itch, there's a good chance you've already met the power of niacin, literally a spark that wakes up your circulation. What most people don't know is that niacin comes in different forms, and they're not interchangeable. Nicotinic acid, the flushing form, is the one that creates that warm, spreading sensation. Niacinamide doesn't cause a flush, but it also doesn't help circulation the same way. And no-flush niacin sounds appealing on the label, but it often delivers far less of the vascular benefit people are hoping for. The niacin flush can be alarming the first time you feel it, so let's clear that up. It usually lasts 15 to 30 minutes, a gentle heat, redness, maybe slight itching on the face, chest, or arms. That's not an allergic reaction. It's your tiny blood vessels opening up, allowing warm blood to reach your skin's surface. But, and this is important, if someone ever experiences tightness in the throat, trouble breathing, swelling of the lips or tongue, or chest pain, that's not a flush. That's an emergency, and they need medical help immediately. The typical niacin flush does not behave that way. Once understood, niacin becomes incredibly interesting. It's a natural vasodilator, meaning it helps relax and widen your blood vessels, the same vessels that tend to get stiff with age. It can also influence certain blood lipids, and in some people, help the blood feel less thick, allowing smoother flow down to the legs. But niacin should always be used with respect. Starting low, often around 100 to 250 milligrams, and increasing only with a doctor's guidance is key. Taking it with food helps reduce discomfort, and some people use specific strategies to soften the flush if their physician approves. For long-term or higher dose use, doctors typically monitor liver function, blood sugar, and cholesterol to keep everything safe and balanced. And here's the crucial context. Niacin is not a magic standalone pill. Its best results show up when someone has already laid the groundwork. Healthier habits, better blood pressure control, stable blood sugar, improved cholesterol. In that environment, niacin becomes a tool that amplifies progress. I've had patients who struggled with cold, heavy legs for years. After improving their lifestyle and, with proper medical supervision, adding niacin, they began noticing real changes. Warmer feet, easier walking, less fatigue after only a few weeks. And after a few months, a level of comfort they thought they'd lost forever. Niacin may start with a flush, but for many, it ends with something far better: freedom in their own legs again. If vitamins are the tools, then your daily habits are the hands that use those tools. Give a skilled craftsman a simple toolbox, and he can repair an entire house. Give the same tools to someone who doesn't know how to use them, and they might accidentally make things worse. Your circulation works the same way. The nutrients you take can only do so much. It's your everyday actions that determine whether the magic truly happens. So let's talk about 5 powerful daily habits that can take your leg circulation to a whole new level. Habit 1. The 5 to 10 minute circulation walk after meals. This is not a workout. It's a gentle walk that wakes up your calf muscles, your second heart. After eating, blood tends to pool in the gut. A short walk sends it moving again, lowering stiffness in the legs and improving digestion at the same time. Many of my patients in their late 60s say this tiny habit alone makes their legs feel lighter by evening. Habit 2. Ankle pumps and heel raises while watching TV. You don't need special equipment. Just point and flex your ankles, or lift your heels and lower them slowly. These small movements squeeze your calf muscles and push blood upward. One patient joked, "My TV time became my circulation time. 2 birds with 1 stone." Habit 3. Elevate your legs the right way. Whether you're sleeping or sitting for long periods, raising your legs 6 to 8 inches can work wonders. It helps drain fluid that tends to collect in the ankles throughout the day. The key is gentle elevation, not piling 3 big pillows under your knees, which can strain the lower back, but a slight, steady lift. Habit 4. The evenly spaced hydration rule. Instead of chugging water twice a day, try sipping small amounts throughout the day. Proper hydration keeps blood from becoming thick and sluggish. Some older adults tell me, "I don't feel thirsty anymore," which is exactly why the habit matters. Thirst signals fade with age, but the need for water doesn't. Habit 5. 2 minutes of deep breathing, morning and night. Stress tightens blood vessels. Slow, deep breathing expands them. Just 2 minutes twice a day can calm your nervous system and reduce the constant clamp stress puts on your circulation. It's simple, free, and surprisingly powerful. These 5 habits may look small, but they snowball into real change. Warmer feet, lighter steps, less swelling, better stamina. And now, we're ready to put every piece together, because next, we're building the full picture, a 90-day roadmap that helps you go far beyond taking vitamins for peace of mind and actually see meaningful improvements in how your legs feel every single day. A 90-day plan may sound long, but when it comes to rebuilding your leg circulation, it's really just 3 short chapters, each one building on the last, each one giving your body the time it needs to respond, adapt, and strengthen. Think of it like teaching your blood vessels a new rhythm. You don't rush it, you guide it. Phase 1, weeks 1 to 2, awareness and preparation. This is where you pause and take stock. Write down what you're feeling, the heaviness, the cramps, how far you can walk before needing a break, how cold your feet get at night. Also take note of your medications, your health conditions, your daily routines. If you're thinking about adding supplements, this is the moment to talk with your doctor and make sure everything fits safely into your own health picture. During these first 2 weeks, you're not trying to fix everything. You're simply setting the stage. Start walking gently after meals. Sip water throughout the day. Elevate your legs whenever you can. These small shifts help your circulation wake up before you introduce anything new. Phase 2, weeks 3 to 6. Building the new rhythm. This is where real momentum begins. If you and your doctor decide supplements are appropriate, this is typically when you start, or fine-tune, your vitamin routine. Add simple leg exercises, ankle pumps, heel raises, short walks. Nothing intense, just enough to get the calf muscle pump working consistently. Most people start noticing early changes during this phase. Fewer nighttime cramps, warmer feet, the ability to walk a little farther without stopping. Keep track of those improvements. They're the early signs that your blood vessels are starting to respond. Phase 3, weeks 7 to 12, strengthening and fine-tuning. Now you evaluate. If possible, reconnect with your doctor. Check blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, or any labs they feel are necessary. This is also when you fine-tune the details, adjusting the timing of supplements, checking whether a dose is too low or too high, and tightening up sleep and movement habits. By this point, your body isn't just reacting, it's adapting. Your circulation is steadier, your endurance is better, and your legs feel more reliable under you. This is where the changes begin to feel real, not just hopeful. And before we wrap up, we need to clear the air, because there are three major misunderstandings about vitamins and leg circulation that can quietly wipe out your progress. If you don't know them, you could throw all 3 months of effort straight into the trash. So let's shine a light on them right now. When it comes to vitamins and circulation, a lot of people get tripped up not by the science, but by the misunderstandings and mental traps that sneak in quietly. And these misunderstandings can undo weeks, even months of effort. So let's clear the fog before it sets you back. Misunderstanding number 1. I take a multivitamin, so I'm covered. This is probably the most common belief I hear, and I get it. Multivitamins feel convenient, safe, and reassuring. But here's the truth. Most multivitamins only contain the bare minimum to prevent deficiency, not nearly enough to create functional change in your blood vessels. It's like putting a teaspoon of fertilizer on a dry garden and expecting roses to bloom. A multivitamin can support general health, yes, but it's rarely the tool that moves the needle on leg circulation. Misunderstanding number 2. If I don't see results in 3 to 5 days, it's useless. We live in a world where everything promises instant results. But your circulation isn't a light switch. It's more like a muscle that needs steady training. Vitamins support processes that take weeks, not days, to show up. Some people do feel a warm foot or a lighter step early on, but expecting dramatic change in 72 hours is a recipe for frustration. When it comes to the vascular system, slow does not mean ineffective. It means your body is actually doing real repair work. Misunderstanding number 3. More is better. This one is dangerous. Increasing doses on your own without guidance doesn't speed things up. It just increases the risk of side effects. Vitamins like niacin or K2 need to be taken at the right dose, at the right time, and with the right medical supervision. Doubling or tripling a dose can be harmful, not helpful. Your blood vessels don't need a flood, they need consistency. And then there are the mental traps we all fall into. Comparing your progress to other people. Maybe your friends said their legs felt better in 2 weeks, while you're still waiting. But circulation depends on dozens of personal factors: age, activity level, medications, health conditions. Your path is yours. Comparison only steals your motivation. Giving up after one mild side effect. A little flushing, a tiny bit of stomach discomfort, or a day of feeling off doesn't always mean something is wrong. But many people stop immediately without asking their doctor or adjusting the dose. Sometimes all it takes is a small tweak to make the process comfortable again. And here's the bridge to everything you've learned so far. After all this information, the most important thing isn't memorizing every vitamin name. It's understanding the core message about your legs, that they are capable of improving, healing, and responding when you give them the right tools and the right time. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want to leave you with something deeper than just facts or vitamin names. Poor leg circulation isn't some automatic consequence of getting old. It's a signal, a gentle nudge from your body asking for support, attention, and better tools. And now you know those tools. 3 key vitamins that can make a meaningful difference when used wisely, and 2 powerful chapters of habits and structure that help those vitamins actually work. Think of your body after 60 like a long-lived garden, still capable of beauty, still capable of growth. Vitamin C, K2, and niacin are like specialized fertilizers. But even the best fertilizer can't revive hard, dry soil on its own. You still need water, sunlight, consistent care. That's what the daily habits and the 90-day roadmap provide. The steady nourishment that helps everything bloom again. And through all of this, safety comes first. Don't increase doses on your own. Don't mix supplements with medication without asking your doctor. And don't treat any video, including this one, as a replacement for proper medical care. See it as guidance, a map, a starting point for better conversations and better choices. Now, if you've stayed with me this far, it tells me something important. You care about your future. You want warmer feet, steadier steps, fewer nighttime cramps, less fear of falling, and more confidence in your own body. You're investing in yourself, and that matters more than anything. So here's my question for you, and I truly mean it. Which part of today's video spoke to you the most? Was it the role of nitric oxide? The story of K2 clearing calcium? The niacin flush? Or the simple habits that anyone can start today? Tell me in the comments. Share your age, your experiences, your worries, your wins. I read every message I can, and my goal is to help you feel seen, supported, and understood. And if you want more videos on circulation, blood pressure, heart health, joint strength, or anything related to aging well, feel free to subscribe and stay with us. Your best years aren't behind you. They're in every step you take from here forward.